Alright, welcome back for another episode of Merry Mexican Mechanics. Today what we're going to be doing is changing the gasket for the oil filter adapter. And this is on a 2005 F150 5.4. This will be the same for the 2004 all the way up to 2008 with the same motor. So basically what we're going to be doing is changing this gasket here. Now what we found is that this oil leak is a common problem with this particular engine, and Ford in their infinite wisdom has ensured that they use the same gasket not only for their oil filter but uses the same lines as your antifreeze. So basically what you're going to be doing is plan this on an oil change. Just go ahead and drain all your oil, go ahead and drain the radiator. This little petcock here is, if you can kind of see it here, it's just kind of in front of the battery and passenger side. There's a little plastic guy. You can go ahead and hook up a hose. Now I'd recommend using, thanks for that light there, so little white, off-white petcock, but you're going to hook up a hose or else you're going to be making a huge mess. So up here, you're going to be wanting to remove this plastic piece that is the oil filter drain. Basically like an oil run for when you take off the oil filter. Now it doesn't actually work. It actually drains the oil a good foot behind where this plastic piece is. But again, another amazing engineering feat by Ford Motor. And this is a 10mm,
two 10mm sockets,
two 10mm bolts there. So, alright, so I got this part on Amazon here. It was probably about $8.99. I'm gonna post a link for it on this.
Woo! You gotta break a bulb.
Okay, so shine out the boats a little bit here. There's one right here. There's one on the top, right up there. So I can show it. And then there's one just on the other, right there. Touch it here. Jesus Christ.
That's
right there. Good point that some people like to ask is taking apart the hoses. Now, yes, that is technically the proper way to do it. However, these hoses are actually put in upside down with the clamps. They're a major pain in the ass to get out. So what we're gonna do is actually just put a bucket underneath to collect the remaining part of the antifreeze that leaks out.
Jeez.
Another bolt?
Yes, there should be. Look at the gasket.
I failed to mention there is a fourth bolt. Now this is where the fun starts.
Oh, God damn it! Told you.
Oh, son of a bitch! So that fourth bolt. Fuck! Whatever remaining amount of coolant that's in the hoses.
At the bottom of the crate.
Alright, so now that the coolant has completely drained at this point, just gonna remove that last bolt. Now, the kind of workaround that we have here is that instead of removing all the hoses, once the bolts are removed, you can essentially slide the gasket out and slide the new gasket in between where the bolts actually go in. Jesus Christ. Here's the gasket removed. As you see, definitely deformities here. Another thing to mention as well is that this is smooth as shit. As you see, these are all lifted. And it does not have that wonky piece, so like I say, pretty common issue with these. Now for installing the the new gasket here, you're going to want to clean off the heads of the bolts. And the reason being, obviously, if you see any oil starting to collect, you'll know that you have a problem. The gasket in its seat right. Anything that can be cleaned should be cleaned so you can see the results of your work. You see that the upper part just behind the oil filter, you can see where that gasket actually seats. You want to make sure that that is also very clean so that that gasket seats well. And once that gasket is actually floated in there, you're gonna use the bolts to hold it in place. So I'd suggest doing the furthest bolts from left to right, keeping it in place, and then once you actually place the adapter in, then you can tighten evenly, distribute the weight on all 4 bolts.